day. Sherry's here to play.
Woo, it feels good.
It's the best time in daytime.
Everything is gold.
Weekdays at 2 on WAVY TV 10.
Today on HRS.
We're getting a preview of the Little Theater in Norfolk's latest production. They'll tell us what to expect from top girls.
Have some fun and possibly walk away with a fancy new handbag. It's all for a great cause. We'll have the details on the Portsmouth Service League's handbag bingo event.
Plus, we talked with a cardiologist about a new campaign aiming to shine a light on the factors that can silently impact your heart health. The Hampton Road Show starts now.
Buddy. Good Monday morning and welcome to the Hampton Road Show. I am Chris Reckling alongside meteorologist Jeremy Wheeler, who is in for Tara Wheeler on this President's Day. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. How you feeling there, Jeremy Wheeler?
Busy.
Busy?
Worn out.
Nah, you're not busy. You're not worn out. You got time for us here on the Hampton Road Show. It's been a while. When was the last time you sat in for somebody?
It's been at least a couple months, least maybe 3 or 4 even, it feels like.
Maybe even more than that. But in the beginning, back in the day when this show was brand new, you came on the show every single day.
Yeah, I was the weather person.
The weather person.
We do the weather forecast, but also we do that little pop quiz type thing we did for fun.
Yeah.
And then, I got so busy.
You miss those days. You miss those days, don't you?
Yeah, a little bit.
No, you're so busy. And so you're sitting here, you're talking about you're being busy right now. Yep. Why? Come on, it's just weather.
Well, let's just say Lux the skunk whiffed.
Oh, that's right.
It's wrong.
That was last. That was last Sunday. It was Groundhog's Day, which is really kind of like Groundhog's Day on a weekend. Did they really pull the varmints out on the weekend to do that?
They did, but you know what? People got to go, so that was kind of a plus.
Yes, exactly. I like that.
And but
so the skunk came out and said we're going to have an early spring.
Yes, and I think.
Well, we had an early spring yesterday, kinda. We had a little of everything yesterday, right?
Wind, we had rain, we had 70 degrees. But now that's all gone, and now we're going for a full-blown winter blast middle of the week.
Well, you know what? I think if Tara Wheeler was going to take a day off, today was a good day to do it because there's been so much weather lately that's good to have you here so we can kind of kick it around a little bit.
Thanks, yeah.
I mean, what is going on? I mean, we have one day after another storm. I mean, usually they take their time. They give it a few days. They give us a little break between storms. But it's been double barrel, bang, 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 bang lately.
Every few years, I think, this area gets some active weather and we get kind of a colder scenario. I've noticed that. It seems like every 4 to 5 years, maybe 3 to 5 years we get it. And so we would do, people would say, oh, we're due for a big one. Well, we might be getting a big one as we go into the middle of the week. We might be seeing quite a bit of snow in there. I don't have a mouse on here, but we'll be talking about it, at midday, but it's
you need
possible.
A mouse? I got a mouse in my pocket.
It's possible some areas could see over 10 inches, possibly.
Oh, wait, you're getting ahead of yourself here. So, I mean, all that really matters to me is, as a surfer, I want to know when's the surf going to be good. There was a little bit of surf yesterday. It was small, but, man, it was really windy.
Yeah.
And then I think it was Friday or one day last week, there was a little bit of surf, but it was little. And, I mean, it's just, there hasn't been the big one. Big surf in Virginia Beach, because we're not known for big surf in Virginia Beach anyways, so Outer Banks maybe.
We've got some decent surf here sometimes, let's put it that way.
Yeah, sometimes, but the winter time is
better.
usually the best time of year, but not lately, so. Oh, but listen, I'm glad you're here.
Yep.
Because you are a what? A meteorologist?
Yep.
Your expertise is meteorology.
That's right.
Let's use you. Let's get right to the buzz, everybody. We're entering the 3rd week of February, and spring is 32 days away. So winter is still holding firm. And in case you didn't already know, another winter storm is expected to impact Hampton roads this week. And since we're lucky enough to have the company of Jeremy Wheeler sitting in for Tara Wheeler, wait a minute. Are you guys related? Wheeler? There's a lot of Wheelers going on here.
Well, the irony is my daughter's named Tara Wheeler. We didn't name her after Tara, but we knew Tara because of her pageantry and stuff. So, my wife's like, oh, is that okay? Is that weird? I'm saying, well, we're never going to meet her. Okay. And of course,
Jeremy Wheeler, Tara Wheeler, your daughter. This is so confusing. What's not confusing is the fact that we have more weather coming, and since we have the expert here, let's talk about it. Okay, people, it is. When? Wednesday evening, as always?
Well, starting up Wednesday, possibly late Wednesday morning.
Late Wednesday morning.
Thursday.
Is it going to look like that?
It could look bigger than that.
Well,
it's possible.
Like, so I see white, and it's going to be whiter than that. It's going to be like everything's going to be
You wouldn't be able to see the roads in this scenario that's coming up. Now, so the thing is, the model, here's the thing. This morning, all the models came into pretty good agreement at some pretty high amounts. There's no model this time that's saying, oh, this will be 0, you're not going to get any snow. None of that. All the models are saying some pretty high amounts. Some of them coming up with, many of them coming up with more than 6 inches, which is already pretty bad. That can cause problems. But over 10 inches, you've got snow on the ground for at least 2, 3, maybe sometimes 4 days in a row if you get that. So
you just said, you just gave us a ballpark there in the inches. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, so, and I know you're putting yourself out there, but you said 90%
of accumulating snow, of an inch or more in Hampton Roads Metro. We used to
Wednesday into Thursday. So Wednesday is the start, Thursday is the...
Yes. Well, I would say most of it's coming in late Wednesday and a Wednesday night, ending by later Thursday.
How long is it going to stick around? Please tell me that it's going to disappear.
It could stick around for 2 or 3 days at least. It depends on how much we get, but right now with these higher amounts, it could. It could. Kids could be out of school for a while. Businesses.
I'm just trying to keep up with it. Is this like the 4th or 5th snow event we've had this year?
I'd say about 4th or 5th. Yeah, that's about right. But this one will be the one. So yeah.
Come on. Okay, so last year, nada. The year before, nada. I mean, it's been years.
Yeah, 2 years. Yeah,
it's been a couple years since we've seen snow, and this year we've kind of like making up for lost time, right?
I think so. I mean, about 2.5 years we had a kind of a snow drought we were talking about.
A snow drought.
And then now this might come around and get us.
We've had a lot of rain lately. We've had a lot of wind lately. We've had snow.
Yeah.
We've had a little bit of everything. Mother Nature is really saying, you know what? I'm here. Deal with me.
It's an active year.
Okay, so you guys are really conservative when it comes to estimation of how many inches, but you're saying we're going to see a significant amount, and I've seen the national maps and all. We're like in the bullseye.
We're in the bullseye this time.
It's not D.C., it's not Richmond, it's not northern parts. It's right in Hampton Roads.
Yeah.
Are we lucky, or is this just weird?
Depends on the person you talk to. Because some people, they ask for it. Literally, they're like, I want to snow. It's going to shut us down. Other people are like, oh, please, no, I don't want any snow. We had enough, And,
all right, so if you love snow, you got it, and we'll talk more about that coming up in just a bit.
All right, yeah. Now, today is not only President's Day, it's also National Random Acts of Kindness Day. Today is celebrated by individuals, groups, and organizations nationwide to encourage acts of kindness. The movement of random acts of kindness inspires people every day. As a favorite celebration for many people everywhere are enjoying doing these acts of kindness. Not only do the acts of kindness bring joy to the receiver, but they spread positive reactions to the giver too. So we want to know, how often do you do random acts of kindness? Have you had someone do something for you lately? How did it make you feel? And why is doing these random acts of kindness so important in the world we live in?
Okay, so I love this topic because there's nothing like having somebody do something for you out of the blue and you didn't know it was coming or whatever. And it's also makes you feel really good when you're able to do that to somebody else. Whether it's as simple as opening a door for somebody, or maybe paying for someone's coffee, or just picking up the check, or going over to somebody and saying, hi, you look great today, I love your shoes.
Yeah.
Just something nice to elevate somebody. That's what life is all about, doing something kind, and it doesn't take much, and it doesn't cost much. It's just doing something out of the ordinary. I think we need it more now than ever because the world that we live in, it seems like everyone's more isolated coming out of that pandemic thing. People are kind of stick to themselves a little bit, but it's nice to see random acts of kindness.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and like you said, it's little things that you don't have to do something big. You can do something big. I mean, people have. We've seen stories about it, but you don't have to.
Right.
And I mean, some of these little things really make a person's day sometimes. I mean, it can really change them. They could be down and out and just worst day ever, and just a little something can bring them back from the the brink.
Okay, and so in the next couple of days, of course, there will be lots of snow. So check on your neighbors, and if if maybe your neighbor can't get out or whatever, maybe just scrape their driveway off or their walkway or right around there. Do something like that. Maybe check on them. Maybe if they need something from the grocery store, and maybe if you're at the grocery store, it might be a little crazy out there because people like panic buying or whatever.
Yep.
Just back off buying everything. Just get what you need and save something for other people. And then just use some common sense and respect and dignity and try to help others when you can. Yeah. It's that easy. And it doesn't have to be just today. It can be every day. Moving forward, true. Right?
It's a good reminder day for folks to do it. And then, just keep it in mind next couple of days, couple of weeks, couple of months, and just maybe try and make it a habit if you can. It's a good thing to do.
Yeah, and when you are the person giving that random act, it makes you feel so good that it kind of fosters, more random acts of kindness. So let us know your thoughts on that. Also, now that the National Football season is over, did you know that? National Football League is over, ended last week. You might be looking for something different or new to watch on TV or new at the movie theaters. Did you watch the 50th anniversary of Saturday Night Live last night? Did you?
I watched an hour. Okay, I had to go to bed, but I watched an hour.
What did you think?
I really liked it because I didn't know how it was going to be, and it turned into one large Saturday Night Live episode with a lot of old cast members coming back. So they were doing the skits and everything. I was like, wow, it was so active. You know, it wasn't like the award shows where everybody's just kind of sitting there and then you got
but the crowd was just full of all these stars, right?
Yeah, it was.
And not just that, but also NASCAR started yesterday, Daytona 500. This is a busy time for Hollywood. Captain America: Brave New World hit the box office this weekend, took in a staggering $100 million. Despite unfavorable reviews, the 35th entry in Disney's Marvel Cinematic Universe did better at the box office than expected. But that's just one of the many new offerings at both the movie theater and on your local TV. Coming up in a bit, we'll visit with a couple of the stars of the new NBC drama, Grosse Pointe Garden Society. We'll tell you how their gardening and murder come together in this new NBC show. So let's kick it around a little bit more. You're a big movie buff.
I am.
Marvel, the Captain America came out.
Yeah.
And I said unfavorable reviews. It's only what I saw. You saw it.
Yeah.
Give me your thoughts on it.
So yeah, I think you know, there was high hopes for this movie, especially Anthony Mackie, you know, playing the part as Captain America. I mean, he took over, you know, and he got past the mantle. I thought it was good. I was a little disappointed. I thought maybe some of the special effects got a little cheesy. I mean, you could see some of them right there. The story was actually pretty good, I thought, but also maybe I think the main characters did fine, but there were some acting parts that maybe weren't so great. So I think.
Well, if you're looking at an action, one of these stories for acting, I mean, come on, it's all about action, special effects, flying around, quick edits, bang, shaboom,
keep in mind,
blowing things up, all that. It's not about acting, is it? Come on.
Well, it's true. You're right. It's true. But I mean, you got some powerful actors in it. You got Harrison Ford.
How was he in it?
He did pretty good. Yeah.
He was the president, right?
Yeah, and I think.
Did he come out okay?
He came out well.
Don't give it away.
Yeah, no. There's a big scene in there at the end that he's a big part of. Literally.
There's a big scene at the end.
Where he's a big part of, and that's the big is kind of the giveaway. But yeah, so and I think that's public knowledge.
Can I just say that I don't get out to the theater that often, and I'm lost when it comes to the Marvel Universe. 35 shows. I'm so lost when it comes to. They've intertwined them so much, and they've brought in new characters, and I'm lost. And you know, as a kid, I was reading them in the comic books and I loved it. Now I wouldn't know where to begin.
I think they need to reset, and I think they are going to kind of reset with Fantastic Four. It's coming out later in the spring.
You say reset. I'm saying I'm so confused.
It's true, but I mean, something that you don't need to see anything before it to understand it. And I think hopefully the Fantastic Four kind of does that a little bit.
I feel more comfortable talking about last night's SNL 50th anniversary.
Yeah, no.
It was great looking at the crowd because in the crowd was a who's who of Hollywood and movie stars and TV stars. It was pretty amazing in that respect. And I'm going to watch the latter part tonight. I can't wait to see Paul McCartney sing. You got to go back and see the rest of it, man.
Yeah, I got 2 hours.
All right, let us know what your thoughts on the weekend, all that we just talked about. There's weather coming. We got Jeremy. If you want to ask him some questions, please feel free to do that on our Facebook at HRS WAVY. But don't go away. We're just getting started on a Monday morning.
That's right. Coming up, Bags and Bingo. We'll chat with the folks from the Portsmouth Service League about their designer purse and bingo event and the important cause it supports.
But first, we're talking to Madeline and Jackie from the Little Theater of Norfolk. They'll give us the details about their upcoming production of Top Girls. It's a show all about women and their journey to finding commonality in their experiences from different countries and time periods. Top Girls comes to Hampton Roads later this month. This segment is sponsored by Little Theater of Norfolk. Madeline Dilly and Jackie Adonis are two of the show's cast members, and they join us now with more on the show. Ladies, welcome to the Hampton Roads Show.
Oh, hey, thanks for having us.
This seems like a lot of fun. Madeline, let's begin with you. Tell us all about Top Girls and what it's all about.
So Top Girls is a play set in 1980s London, and it follows Marlene, a businesswoman who just got a promotion at her employment agency, and to celebrate, she's inviting a bunch of women to a dinner party from different points in history. And
wait, how's that possible? How do you invite people from different points in history to a dinner theater?
She's got connections.
Oh, she's connected, right?
It's kind of a very like it's like a fantasy sequence almost.
Okay, in your head.
Yes.
But you said business in 1980s.
Yes.
Jackie, what is your character, and how does a woman make it in business in the 80s? Because then it was just seemed to be ruled by men.
Sure. So I play two characters, Lady Nijo, 13th century imperial concubine from Japan, who turns into a Buddhist nun later in life. It's so much fun playing her.
Wait a second. Okay, that seems to be a lot.
Yes. And then I also play Wynn, who is Marlene's co-worker back in the 1980s.
Okay, so something tells me that there's a power struggle going on because you're a woman making in business. Am I correct? Am I sort of on point here?
Absolutely.
Tell us about, I know there's some obstacles that you overcome.
Yes, the play goes into the sacrifices that not only Marlene, but the other women have had to make their own way in their lives. And it just, Marlene tries to figure out, did she make the right decision? Does she regret it? Does she think that she should have done what she should have done?
Are there historical figures in this that we recognize, or is this all just a figment of imagination of the author?
Well, there are some real-life people. There's Isabella Bird, who is a Victorian-era traveler who traveled the world from when she was 40 to 70. Lady Nijo is a real person. And there is also Pope Joan, who was allegedly a woman who became Pope in the 9th century. And there's also characters from Canterbury Tales, Patient Griselda, and figures from different paintings, like Dulgret from Bruegel's painting of her charging into hell with a bunch of women.
Wow, that sounds pretty radical. All right, so Jackie, I know this sounds like, something tells me this is a lot of fun. There's a lot of laughs. Talk about the production and what people are going to get when they watch Top Girls.
Oh my goodness, so to prepare for this role, I read Lady Nijo's memoirs. It's titled The Confessions of Lady Nijo, but a more accurate translation is A Tale Nobody Asked For. And reading her memoirs was so much fun. And something I learned is, in a society, 13th century Japan, where she did not have a lot of power, she had more power than she thought she did. And that was inspiring for me. And that's what I hope the audience will take away, that no matter what circumstances you're in, you have more power than you think you do. Because as long as you exist, you have the power to make choices.
Yeah, and when you put it on theater, like at Little Theater in Norfolk, it's something that everyone's going to get something different out of it, and that's the beauty of live theater. What else is happening at Little Theater? What should we expect coming up in the future? What's going on?
We have the musical Memphis coming up. That's our next show. We just announced our 99th season.
Right,
on the Facebook and Instagram.
Well, congrats on that. That's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, we're really excited.
And Top Girls begins next weekend, right?
Yep, starts the 28th, runs to March 16th.
And how can people get their tickets? What should they need to know?
You can go online, ltnonline.org, and order tickets there.
Well, thank you guys for joining us here on the Hampton Road Show. Break a leg as always, right?
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Once again, this segment is sponsored by Little Theater of Norfolk. Top Girls runs February 28th through March 16th. The Little Theater of Norfolk is located at 801 Claremont Avenue. That's in Norfolk. Reserve tickets online at ltnonline.org or give them a call. The number is 757-627-8551. You can also follow them on social. The handles are right there on your screen.
Top honors for a local sailor. Congratulations are in order for Chief Aviation Maintenance Administration Man Yonda Cooley Chandler. She was recently named the 2024 Strike Fighter Wing Atlantic Chief of the Year. Chandler is assigned to Strike Fighter Squadron 106 at Virginia Beach. The award is given to a person who demonstrates exceptional leadership. Chandler competed against other Strike Fighter Squadron nominees for the win. She said she was in tears of joy after hearing the announcement of her selection. Chandler was especially grateful for the recognition after having a difficult year, losing her mother and her godmother. She's a native of Andrews, South Carolina. She came from a small town and said she joined the Navy to see the world. She served 23 years in the Navy and is planning to finish out her 30 years to retirement, saying she wants to be here to help out when the nation calls. If you know a person or unit who deserves a shout out, let us know on your social media, on our social media at HRS WAVY. We'd love to feature them in our Military Minute.
Some designer bags are up for grabs, and it's all to raise money for a good cause. Folks from Portsmouth Service League are here to give us the details on their handbag bingo event.
When winter weather hits, Super Doppler 10 is on your side.
Welcome back to HRS. It is time for today's Community Connection. The Portsmouth Service League is a volunteer organization made up of women doing good for the community they live in. One of the ways they do it is through events like their 9th annual Handbag Bingo event. Peyton Grzeski and Candace Cox are co-chairs for the event. They join us now with all the fun. Ladies, welcome at the Roadshow.
Thank you for having us.
Okay, so this seems like a lot of fun. Peyton, let's begin with you. How many years have you doing this? 9 years. And what's it all about?
So this is our 9th annual Handbag Bingo. It's a night of fun where we invite the community into the Women's Club of Portsmouth to play bingo for the opportunity to win designer handbags. You can see Candace and I are sporting some, and we've got a few on the table over here. But it's a great evening of raffle prizes and a lot of fun and camaraderie, and it all raises money for the Portsmouth Service League.
Help me out here a little bit. I'm not one to know much about handbags. But I can tell these are really nice.
They are. So what we try to do is pick different things that you wouldn't normally see on someone's arm.
Right.
So these are kind of the first time seeing them and the only person walking around with them type situation. So
yeah, so a statement piece,
exactly.
right?
Yes.
Something you might not buy for yourself.
Right.
Something that you'd really like to win.
Correct.
Yes.
And of course, everybody likes to play bingo,
Yes.
right?
And we have over $14,000 worth of handbags that are available to win this year at bingo.
Wow, that's a lot. Candace, tell us more about the service league that you guys are in.
So the Portsmouth Service League, as you said already, is a women-led organization. Our heart is the community. So not only do we reach out to different nonprofits, we are involved in different schools and things like that. And it's just an opportunity for us as women to be able to give back to the community on a regular basis.
Something tells me you have a lot of fun doing it too.
I definitely do.
How many other fundraisers are there? Because this is probably your biggest of the year. Because this is going to raise some money.
There's a few other that we do throughout the year. We do the Portsmouth First Citizen Award every spring, and then in the summer you can find us at fest events volunteering to pour beer. And then we also help staff other local volunteer organizations with our members. So you'll see some of our members at Oasis Social Ministry, serving up breakfast, or at the Children's Museum, volunteering in their activity room.
How about to say the bunny hop's coming up soon?
Oh, the bunny hop, yep, we'll be there helping volunteers. So even though we only do a few of our own fundraisers throughout the year, you'll find us almost everywhere in the community.
Yeah.
Very nice. Okay, Candace, so this is going to be a fun event.
Okay.
You want to know, people want to know how they can take part in it. How do they take part in it? What do they need to know?
One, you need to be in the place. Saturday, the 22nd. Tickets are still on sale. You can either use this QR code you see on the screen here or go to pslva.com/handbagbingo to grab your tickets.
So a ticket to get you in the room.
Tickets to get you in the room, and it gives you games as well.
Yep.
How many games?
So we play 10 games, and you get 3 bingo cards per game. So your ticket includes 30 chances to win a bag. You also get mocktails and a heavy appetizer spread on Saturday night, and then you can have the opportunity to purchase some more boards, raffle tickets, or a board to play our very special Louis Vuitton game, where you could win a Louis Vuitton bag.
And you get to hang out with us.
30 bags.
Yeah, 30 chances to win.
30 chances to win, playing bingo. It sounds like a lot of fun. It's more fun when you play with friends and family and you bring a large group, right?
Highly recommend bringing some friends.
How many people do you need? Because we're going to send you some people.
Yes, I think we still have about 55 tickets left online, so if you're ready to come play some bingo and possibly walk away with a beautiful bag, come hang out with us on Saturday. So
get them now because there's a real chance it's going to sell out, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. See, they both said it at the same time. Yeah. So look at these bags. They're pretty cool. I mean, I don't carry bags, but if I did, I don't know which one I would pick. I guess it all depends, right?
All of them.
This one's kind of cool, I guess. What do I know? They look awesome. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us here on HRS.
Thank you for having us.
What a great idea. Okay, the Portsmouth Service League Handbag Bingo is Saturday at the Women's Club of Portsmouth on Sycamore Road. Doors open at 5. Games begin at 6. For tickets, visit pslva.com/handbagbingo. Follow them on Facebook at PSLVA 2019. And this information will be on our website, thehamptonroadshow.com.
All right, well, this morning people are talking about all kinds of stuff. I think the biggest buzz one is probably the snow. Anytime you say the word snow, people kind of start to get a little active. They get a little dramatic. They get a little excited.
I like how it changes the look. I mean, you see your place, you see your, whatever it is, what it is, and next thing you know, it's a blanket of snow. It turns white. It's beautiful. And then after about 24 hours, you're like, leave me alone.
Sometimes 48, yeah. You know,
Whatever
the
it is,
dirty.
right?
It's up in Illinois. Sometimes that snow would last for weeks and weeks, and it just get dirty. So, you know, Linda says it doesn't mind if it snows, but it's going to be cold and wet, so it may as well be pretty. You know, hey, there you go, exactly.
Cold and wet, it might as well be pretty.
So yeah, I'm not ready for I'm ready for beach weather, Billy, and yeah, I got a pretty good shot at snow. So Steven says, bring it on.
Well, Stephen Dodds says, bring it on. He says he's got 90% chance of accumulation, 8.5 inches or higher in the latest forecast. Bring it. Okay, well, that's Stephen saying what you said.
Well, yeah, you might have saw one model. I had a whole bunch of different numbers on there, but yeah.
Let's talk about the models.
Oh boy. Okay.
How many models do we go by?
Well, there's
Jeremy's model.
Well, so there's two big ones. You got the European and the GFS. Those are kind of the big boys, and they handle, you know, the long-range forecast.
GFS, what's that?
Oh gosh.
Fancy for gonna.
Global forecast system. Sorry, you put me on the spot. I just had to think about it. Yeah, global forecast system. So, so there's that one. And those are global models. So they handle weather around the world. Then you got one that's more regional called the NAM, North American model. And then we've got our model, Future Track, which does a good job. It's high res, so it goes out so far.
So they're all kind of pointing to...
Yeah, a decent amount of snow. I mean, yeah, in that range, you know. I mean, you know,
it's a lot.
It's been a while.
A lot of snowmen, a lot of sledding.
And the models, they still could change it. You know, they still could change their tune. Maybe they got more of a mixiness coming in that reduces the amounts. Maybe the system zips by very fast.
Wow.
So we don't get as much. But right now, I mean, all of them are suggesting at least, you know, a good amount.
Yep, Debbie says, I'll run out of more milk and she's going to make a pot of soup. Robbie says, bring it on. Bev says, yes, I love snow because it's so pretty. Sylvia says, no, I'm not ready for any more snow. Kathy, no, I'm supposed to be having surgery Thursday morning. If it wasn't for my surgery, I wouldn't care.
Ooh, yeah.
This is going to definitely cause some problems for a lot of different people. Lisa says, oh, yes, ready for snow. Bring it on. We got pictures of snowmen. No questions for you, though.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably going to be a lot of questions, you know, at some later point.
Can I just say this? I mean,
wow, how much?
You guys are put on the spot. I did sports for years, and you know, making predictions with sports is whatever. You just don't know. But making predictions,
you don't have our models.
But making predictions in snow is really hard. You guys do a great job of it, and it's been super challenging lately. But I mean, I've been really impressed. I mean, I kind of long for the days 30, 40 years ago when you guys would say one thing and it would be wrong, and then we'd point fingers at you and just.
Well,
you never get it wrong anymore.
Well, I don't know about that, but we try. We try and do our best.
All right. Well, you guys do a great job. All right. So we'll chat more about movies and the such in the next buzz. Springtime is almost here, and if you're looking to hit the road for some family fun, you may want to check out this weekend's Virginia RV Expo.
Yeah, it's happening at the Hampton Roads Convention Center. You can find out all the details on tickets, the schedule, and more at vrvexpo.com. Next on HRS. She's being honored for her history-making career as a pilot. We'll have her inspiring story in today's What's Good.
Hi, my name is Cameron from Norfolk, and you're watching the Hampton Roads Show.
Time for today's What's Good. Today's story comes from our sister station in Charlotte, where the first black female helicopter pilot for the North Carolina National Guard just received a very special honor for her trailblazing work. May-Kay Beeler has more on her inspiring journey.
Oh my goodness.
Captain Jones is about to come face to face with.
And then look at my face up there. Like, what are we doing?
It's her first look at the exhibit Sullenberger Aviation officials created to honor her remarkable career as a military aviator.
Oh, this is such an honor. I'm Captain Lindsay Jones, and I'm the first African-American female helicopter pilot for the North Carolina National Guard.
Jones is part of the Trailblazing Women exhibit here at the Sullenberger Aviation Museum.
I am a part of Women Making Waves.
A Raleigh native and citizen soldier, Captain Jones considers it a privilege to serve her country as an officer and helicopter pilot.
Every time I interact with someone, I never know how far it's going to send them.
She also serves her community as a licensed clinical mental health counselor.
I'm just taken aback
Captain Jones is literally larger than life in her exhibit display, where her uniform, boots, and gloves are showcased. It's a reflection of her history of breaking barriers as an African-American woman in a traditionally male-dominated field.
As a child, I never dreamed that my face was going to be on a Smithsonian-related museum. Like, no, not even any museum. I never could picture that even happening.
As a role model, a 17-year National Guard veteran, and still the State Guard's only female African-American helicopter pilot, Captain Jones has a special message for girls.
Me, little Lindsay, when I first joined, I was a private first class, Lindsay Jeffries. I didn't know that I was going to be a pilot. So what I want them to know is you do not have to know everything you'll do in your future. You just have to know to take the first step. That's it.
Captain Jones says when girls see her exhibit, they should know she is a representation of them, an extension of their potential. When they think about what a pilot looks like, she wants them to remember
there was a black lady up there and she could fly, and she doesn't look like the normal depiction in my mind of what a pilot looks like. So maybe that can be me as well.
A lot of respect for those pilots. Yeah, I don't know how they do it. But remember, if you see something you think we should see, tag us on social media at HRSWavy and use the hashtag at # what's good. Hashtag what's good. Pardon me, old school.
Well, everyone's got dirt, but some secrets never stay buried. That's the plot behind NBC's new primetime drama, Grosse Pointe Garden Society. It follows members of a suburban garden club who find their lives intertwined by scandal, mischief, and a shared secret no one wants to talk about. Two of the series stars, Ben Rappaport and Anna Sophia Robb, join us now. Welcome to the Hampton Road Show.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Hi. Thank you.
I'm interested to dig into this. Ben, let's begin with you. A garden society seems so innocent, but something tells me chaos is blooming in the garden. Please set the scene for us and tell us about your character.
Yeah, so Grosse Pointe Garden Society centers on these 4 friends who come together through the garden club, kind of from different walks of life. And Brett's entry into this is that he is the manager of the garden center that supplies the garden society with all their gardening needs. And Brett's had some tough life things happen, so he decides to join up with the garden club in an effort to, you know, make some friends and distract himself from some of the crazy things happening in his life. And just like you said, it's all about these beautiful flowers on top. Everything's perfect and, you know, just like the ideal everything. But underneath, there's a lot of secrets kind of permeating the soil. And that's the fun of the show.
All right, Anna Sophia, so tell us about you. You play Alice. We talked to Ben about things going wrong in the garden. We just saw some video, a little dark. And if anybody who grows anything knows that sometimes things don't live, you might have a dead pile. Something tells me your pile might be piling up there at Grosse Pointe Garden Society.
Yes, it sure is. And I think what's so fun about this show is that it lives in this really fun spot where there's mystery and mayhem and chaos and there's darkness, but it's also really funny and it's a lot of fun, and you fall in love with the characters and there's romance, and it just has a little bit of everything. So it's not like a really dark, you know, TV show where you feel bad afterwards and you need like a palate cleanser. It's like it kind of goes on this journey where you don't know what's going to happen next, and you find yourself. I remember when I read the pilot, and when I read each episode, I find myself laughing out loud constantly. And so it's really a fun balance of high and low, and really great characters and wonderful actors. We have an incredible ensemble. We're still filming. We're having so much fun together, and we can't wait for people to watch the show.
Okay, so Ben, let's give the writers a big shout out, because something tells me you're going to get your hands dirty, but the garden's going to grow and get more interesting as we go along. What are your thoughts on how these writers have developed this new series?
I will tell you, Jenna Bans and Bill Krebs, our creators and writers, are some of the most brilliant people I've ever worked with, because the way they string the audience along, and really the twists and turns of this roller coaster are more fun than anything you'll get at like Six Flags or like Universal Studios or Disney. Like, this is truly like, anytime we get a script, the script ends and we're like, well, where's the next one? And we have to wait weeks and weeks to get the next script. And, the way that that this is so fun and that the writing is so good is that on set every day, the crew, the cast, all we're doing the entire day is like hedging bets on who's the body, who's underground. And like the fact that it's keeping us that engaged for that long, it's a real testament to the world that Jenna and Bill are building out. It's really exciting.
Yeah, something tells me you're going to need a lot of shovels to dig holes, not just for plants, for maybe some other things as well. Until then, Ben and Anna Sophia, thank you for joining us here on the Hampton Road Show. Congratulations on the new series, and thank you for turning us on to Grosse Pointe Garden Society.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Well, you don't want to miss Grosse Pointe Garden Society when it premieres this Sunday, February 23rd, right here on NBC. Prime time on WAVY kicks off at 8 with The Americas. We'll talk with the folks from this show later this week. The Americas is followed by Suites LA at 9, followed by Grosse Pointe Garden Society at 10, and stick around for WAVY News 10 at 11.
Coming up, February is American Heart Month. We'll hear from a cardiologist about some factors you might not realize impact your heart health.
Honoring Black history through stories that inspire us all. Shirley Chisholm made history as the first Black woman elected to Congress and the first to run for president in a major party. A trailblazer, a leader, and a voice for change, she paved the way for generations to dream bigger. Celebrate the legacy of Shirley Chisholm, a true American pioneer. Honoring Black history, sponsored by Mooring Law, where we fight and you win.
February is American Heart Month, and a new campaign is aiming to shine a light on the factors that can silently impact heart health. And the information comes from Cleveland Clinic's 2025 Heart Health Survey. In this segment, sponsored by Cleveland Clinic, Tara talked with a cardiologist about what we can learn from the survey's findings.
Welcome to the Hampton Road Show.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
So first, what did the survey uncover, and why are these factors often overlooked by the general public?
Yeah, absolutely. So, every February we conduct this survey to try to educate our patients on risk factors for heart health. So this year what we found was that although most Americans associated stress with their heart health, only about 40% were aware of things like alcohol use, tobacco use, lack of sleep, diabetes, high blood pressure during pregnancy, and menopause as risk factors for heart disease. Now, these are really important things to educate our patients about, because these can be really the key risk factors in many of our patients.
So what risks do things like alcohol consumption, tobacco use, sleep deprivation pose in having good heart health?
Yeah, so let's talk about alcohol use. There's been some mixed messaging about it, but alcohol use can lead to high blood pressure. It can lead to arrhythmias, meaning abnormal heartbeats, like atrial fibrillation, where the top part of the heart beats much faster and irregularly compared to the bottom part of the heart. It can lead to heart failure, where the muscle of the heart doesn't work as well in large amounts of alcohol use. So there are all these risk factors, but more sort of silently, alcohol has a lot of hidden calories. So for folks who are trying to optimize their lifestyle or trying to lose weight, drinking alcohol will counteract those efforts, which in turn leads to increased heart disease risks. Tobacco use is of course very well studied and very well known in terms of the risk for heart disease, but lack of sleep is another one that can go under the radar. But for folks who are not getting enough sleep, they may have sleep apnea, which if undiagnosed and untreated can lead to increased heart disease risk. But also, if you're not getting enough sleep, it's very likely that your lifestyle habits aren't going to be very well optimized either. Eating habits, exercise habits, it can be associated with high blood pressure. And all those things, again, lead to increased heart disease risks.
So how can someone make sure they are properly screened for heart disease risk?
The most important thing is to have a frank conversation with your primary care doctor about your annual screening, get your blood pressure checked, talk about your family history, talk about all of your lifestyle factors in detail, and get the appropriate blood tests to be screened for these things, like cholesterol tests, for example. And if there's any uncertainty after that point, if there's any uncertainty about what treatments to do or what strategies to follow, you can always come to see a cardiologist or a preventive cardiologist for an in-depth discussion. And that's always a good place to start.
Some great advice. Where can our viewers go for more information?
So anyone can go to clevelandclinic.org, that's .org/loveyourheart, for more information on both the survey but also risk factors and screening in general.
Once again, this segment is sponsored by Cleveland Clinic. Dr. Ashish, thanks so much for joining us on the Hampton Road Show.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tara Wheeler. In the Buzz now with Jeremy Wheeler. We're talking about new shows. This weekend you went and saw the Captain America movie.
Yeah.
What else you got on your radar? What do you want to see?
I mean, I feel like so much has come out. That's why I kind of pitched this topic, because you've got, well, something we talked about, the Americas with, I mean, that's Tom Hanks doing the voice, and it looks so beautiful. Okay. So that's coming out. Suits LA, you mentioned that. Cobra Kai is out now, the series finale, so the total wrap up. I literally cried when I watched one of the last of the 3 episodes, because you know, Johnny is a dramatic scene in there. Yellow Jackets, that's one show we're kind of getting into. I haven't watched it, but Severance season 2's got a lot of buzz. 1923's coming out. That's the Taylor Sheridan thing.
And Grosse Pointe Garden Society, which we just talked to the stars. That looks like a good one as well. I mean, mixing a little bit of garden love and some madness and mayhem, maybe some murder. I mean,
So I mean, there's something for everybody out there right now, and it's there's kind of a blitz of stuff.
Well, this is the time of year when it's good, because you know the football season's over. It's between the next season. It's just like now's the time. All right. Well, thank you guys for Buzz again.
All right, so getting dinner on the table each night can seem impossible, leaving many of us opting for takeout. But if you arm yourself with the right products, you may save time and money.
Here are some epic discounts available, compiled by Consumer Resources, bestreviews.com.
Hi, I'm Karen Fursell. This is Jacob Palmer, and we're back from bestreviews.com. Be sure to scan that QR code on the screen. There's some really great deals. We're talking about kitchen gadgets. We're going to start with an electric can opener or jar opener. They're really great for people that might not have that accessibility.
And it's so nice because it works on a bunch of different sizes of jars, and it's really helpful for somebody who maybe has arthritis and is dealing with that in their day-to-day. This makes sure that everything is accessible and that you're able to make those delicious meals, you know, without extra struggle that you really don't need.
And you just pop it on top. It can adjust. It's really great. Okay, next we're talking about the Smart Thermometer by Chef IQ. This is something that you have.
Yeah, and this is one of those product types that's grown in popularity in the last few years because it is super useful. You know, you can be a great chef and you feel like you don't need the meat thermometer, but this will still unlock that next level because it takes away any guesswork. You can use it in the oven, you can use it on grills. It is just a really cool piece of tech that connects seamlessly to your smartphone and ends up making sure that you have that perfect roast for the holiday, or just if you're barbecuing, you know, make sure you never overcook those ribs ever.
That's right. Well, I made chicken last night, so I definitely needed this. All right, this is something I used at Thanksgiving. I absolutely love this. This is by Laud Life. This is a warming mat, and I'm telling you, it works. It's great.
And it's made out of silicone, and so it's very safe. But what we love about it is that it's the next level up from like what a chafing dish used to be for these big events where you'd be hosting folks. And there's a lot of different modes you can use. You can set the timer on it. But at the end of the day, the part that really matters is that it works.
Absolutely. And you know what? I had a few of them. I lined them up. I put the dishes. It was great. And it rolls up, and so it doesn't take up a lot of space when you put it in storage. And then our final product's by eTech City. This is a digital scale.
And what's so cool about this is that it's great for the person who's getting super dialed in on their diet. You can make sure that you're measuring everything out to, you know, the gram basically. So you know all of your calories, you know the macros and all those really important stats you need for when you're going through that wellness journey. And if you're a baker, this is going to make sure that you measure everything with absolute precision.
Absolutely. Well, let's take a look at all 4 products today. We're talking kitchen gadgets. We're going to unlock some great deals. Be sure to scan that QR code. Get ready to scan, shop, and save.
Best Reviews is owned by our parent company, Nexstar. You can find more on the products and where to buy them on our website, wavy.com/marketplace. All right, coming up tomorrow, right here on HRS. The coldest night of the year, 5K, is coming up. Find out how this important walk can help provide emergency shelter for the homeless.
And also tomorrow, making your fitness goals stick. We'll learn about technology that can help you stay active and on track with your health and wellness. That's tomorrow on HRS. We'll be right back.
Content segments during the Hampton Roadshow were paid for by Little Theater of Norfolk, Cleveland Clinic, bestreviews.com. Well, that's going to do it for us on a Monday. We've got a few people to thank you. Big thank you to Madeline Dilly and Jackie Adonis for details on Little Theater of Norfolk's upcoming production of Top Girls.
Yeah, and Peyton Krasinski and Candace Cox for telling us about the Portsmouth Service League annual Handband Bingo event.
Ben Rappaport, Anna Sophia Robb for sharing the new details on the Grosse Pointe Garden Society. Ashish Sharihu for details on how you can maintain your heart health. And thank you for watching and buzzing with us today. If you missed anything on the show, you can find it on our website, hamptonroadshow.com. And please connect with us on social at HRS Wavy. A big thank you to you, Jeremy Wheeler, taking a little time out of your busy day to come join us here on HRS.
Well, hey, it's great to be here. It's great to see the fans and talk to the folks. And
something tells me you're going to be really busy the next couple of days.
I think you're right. I think you're right.
Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you back here tomorrow.